I'm Dean Withers. I'm a 21-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters again. But this time, they're all women.
Okay.
My first surrounded claim is men aren't better at leading than women.
If you would like to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Good to see you again.
The fact that there are women that are actually very enthusiastic to argue this or debate this this debate this topic is very, I find it very interesting, because it's like you are basically saying that you're not good enough to be a leader. Okay. And the guy is supposed to argue that you are good enough to be the leader. Like, what's going on here?
Welcome back, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal. So the first claim is that men are not better at leading than women. And I'm honestly appalled that you as a woman would disagree. But I mean, if you want to start it off by telling us why you do think men are better at leading than women, the mic is all yours.
Please, by all
How
means.
I'd like to start this off is I'd like you to define what a woman is.
Well, sure. I think that the definition of what a woman is ultimately irrelevant to this debate, and I'm willing
No,
to
it's
assume
not.
I'm willing to pre-assume your definition of what a woman is, i.e., an adult human female. See, if I were to give you my definition of what a woman is, an adult human individual that pertains to the social and cultural characteristics typical that of a female sex indexed to their gender identity, well, then all of a sudden we're going to be speaking past one another because we define the word woman differently.
Exactly.
So I'm more than
for you
happy to
bring this
pre-assume your
prompt in the first
definition.
place is kind of silly because you don't know what a woman is.
Well, I just told you what my
And,
definition of the word woman is. You
you
just
know,
simply
and I think
overlooked
it would
it.
also depend on what leadership role that.
Who else thinks she looks and speaks like Donald Trump? Like, she can literally be the female version of him. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm seeing, and I cannot unsee it. And also with the idea that she's debating this is, I find it very worrisome. So, anyway, let's get back into it.
that person would take. For instance, if you wanted Kamala Harris, who you voted for, to be the president of the United States, we have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily the woman, but it is necessarily foreign countries. For instance, the Middle East. If I go to a Middle East country as a woman, I can't show my hair at risk of being stoned.
Why are we talking about Middle Eastern countries when the prompt
Very good point. Why? Very good point. Why are we talking about the Middle East? We are not in the Middle East. We are in the US. Can we talk about domestic issues? What's taking us to the Middle East? This woman is triggering me for real.
is men are not
Because
better
you're
at leading than
asking
women.
about leading. You voted for Kamala Harris. I think she would have been a horrible leader. Foreign countries don't always see women as respectful as they see a man. A woman leading this country, for instance, when you go to doing foreign policy and all of those things, they would not have the respect that a man would. I can also say as a woman, depending on your age, if I've got PMS, honey, I'm going to make different decisions than I would as if I didn't. If I'm going through menopause, I might have hot flashes or whatever else. I believe as a Christian woman, men are supposed to lead.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to help.
So you're basically saying that you're incapable of handling leadership roles because of menopause, PMS, hot flashes. I don't understand. What about executive positions? You know, CEOs, like organizations at the top level. Are you telling me that so because a woman has go through these issues, she's unable to make solid, good decisions, and only men can do that because they don't experience that? Does that make any sense? What is she talking about? And by the way, men also have their own issues too. They also have their own issues. But I totally disagree with the fact that because women, supposedly, we have hormonal fluctuations, things that happen to us, you use that as a reason to disqualify a woman from being in leadership roles, doing serious things and taking serious decisions. That doesn't make any sense. And why will you base your the the decision of taking on a female president based on other countries' point of view. Every country has its way of functioning. Every country has its way of looking at things perspective. I mean, obviously in the Middle East, women are not as taken seriously as in the Western world or in the US, in Europe. But why will you base your decision based on that, based on them? It doesn't make any sense to me.
And I'm totally comfortable with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori. So the first thing that I'd point out here is that your position that maybe foreign countries wouldn't respect a female president as much as a male president, I don't think is represented through the fact that on the global stage, Harris had a significantly higher approval rating than Trump during the election. And there's a reason for that.
Because
but
she
I
would have been a
digress.
pushover. They would have walked right over her.
And that's exactly why she had significantly better policy, better character,
No,
would have been a
not at
better
all.
president for
Not
America.
at all.
But ultimately, once again,
Ultimate
Lori,
failure.
the topic of debate is not was Harris a better option for the president than Trump, because even if we want to look at women and men on this macroscopic level of evaluating one woman compared to one man, even if it was true Harris was a clown and Trump was awesome.
And it's usually known that women are better leaders compared to men, because they have a high sense of nurturing values, empathy, so they're able to take all of these factors into play. And one of the happiest countries in the world was Finland, and I think between 2021 to 2023, it was ruled by a woman. I think her name is Sarin something. So I mean, there you have it. Women can also lead as well. I don't know what she's trying to debate here, to be honest with you. And to be a woman saying all of this is this is really scary. Seriously.
That still wouldn't mean that generally speaking, men are better at leading than women. The last point that you made there was about PMSing, and I think that you're like indicating that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are.
Okay.
100%.
Then tell me why men commit 92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive, commit
Testosterone.
suicide. So you think that testosterone is what makes men more emotional?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you just conceded the debate.
No, I didn't concede.
You just said that
because
absolutely men are more emotional than men
different-
5 seconds after saying that women were more emotional than men.
And that's kind of like somewhat of a red herring, because what I'm trying to say to you, women are more emotional. They just are, in more of a, I can change my mind depending on my mood. Now, you're bringing in anger, you're bringing in violence, you're bringing in...
Is anger an emotion?
It is, but
Okay.
to a different extent. And honestly, if you've got a man that's violent...
So basically, she's saying women do not have the capacity to think responsibly, critically. So they just walk based on their emotions. Is testosterone is testosterone not a hormone in men? Like, what is she even vomiting here? This is trash. This is absolutely bullshit. I don't know. I'm getting pissed off by this. It's basically, it makes it sound like women are overgrown children that have no sense of understanding of situations. They just do things based on their emotions, you know. Oh, today, oh no, maybe today, yeah, I'm feeling this, I'll do this. The next minute, oh, I'm not really feeling this, I'm not gonna do it. Like, that's not realistic. That's not real.
Out of character alone, I don't want him leading the country.
Yeah, that's why you
or
voted
anything.
for...
Oh, yeah. You want to get into that? I know that's another prompt,
Well, I
but
mean,
I'm happy to get into that.
I guess we
he
could
was
get into
never
that on the front.
accused. Never accused of...
Okay, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Please
Okay.
return to your seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lori.
If you would like to be the next debater, please get to the chair. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I'm going to give the mic to you. Why don't you tell us all why men are better at leading than women?
Men are better at leading because as a woman, I can tell you that we're emotionally manipulated very easy. We tend to be compassionate because we, as a woman, and getting pregnant, it's inherent in us. Why? Because we deal with babies.
So women deal with babies, therefore women can be manipulated? I don't think that argument follows. But
we
once
can
again...
be easily manipulated.
Wait. My brain cells are trying to understand what she's trying to say. What does pregnancy have to do with being able to be brainwashed or manipulated. What is the relationship? Like Dean is like, what are you saying? Okay, so because women have the capacity to bear children, that equates them to be easily manipulated. What? Huh? I'm going to have a migraine. I'm going to have a migraine.
Women can be easily
And
manipulated.
convince, yeah.
What's the argument for that?
It's inherent in us.
Okay, just saying that it's inherent is like me saying that what is actually inherent of women is that they can't be easily manipulated. That doesn't give me any substance to underpin your position when you just simply underpin your position by saying, well, it's inherent. And it doesn't push this dialogue forward. I would say that men are probably easier to emotionally manipulate than women, or else they wouldn't be culpable for 92% of violent crimes. We could emotionally manipulate a man by making him lose a game of Fortnite. The next thing we know, there's 3.
God bless this man. God bless him. God bless him, because men are easily, let me not use the word easily, that's too rash. Men can be pushed a little bit towards the wrong direction if you tug on their ego. Like if you make a man feel like, oh, you're not man enough to handle these things, you're not man enough to do this, he will want to prove you that he's a man. I'm a man. And there you have it. You have driven him to do something that under normal circumstances doesn't make sense, logically stupid, but he's still going to do that because he needs to prove he's a man.
Three holes in his walls. All right, same thing with self-unaliving statistics, suicide. Suicide's a really bad thing, but it is true that men are significantly more likely to kill themselves than women on average. Same thing with drunk driving, gambling. And then when we look at women, they actually perform better in the fields that are less indicative of emotional outbursts, such as performing well in school. And I mean, this is all underpinned by biology. There was a study done by the American Medical Association that proved that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male in the operating room at a hospital, that you're less likely to die or to experience any post-negative operative outcomes. Why? Because women are biologically designed to deal with stress and pain better than men because they have thicker dendrites in their brain. So ultimately, the science and the empirical facts completely reject the conclusions that you formed.
Not at all. Men are more rational.
Everything he said, word. Clock it. Because, and that's the thing about women. The fact that we're able to give birth biologically, psychologically, we are built to be able to handle stress. So think about it. If I'm able to handle stress because going through period, going through hormonal fluctuations, giving birth, going through pregnancy, going through menopause, I think there's a certain level of stress resistance women have in order to manage all of this chaosness happening in their body. And with that, they're able to extend that same stress management to other fields. So logically it makes sense. Actually, what he says makes total sense.
Pause
And
there.
women-
You've been voted out by the majority, so please return to your seat. If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi,
Hey,
what's your name?
Annette Davis Jackson.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, yes.
So let's hear it. Why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How about I know that men lead better than women? Because women have the babies, you're emotional, but more important, I have a dad. I have a dad who was very strong, and when I see what President Trump is
The funny thing about this is all these women are coming from the point of view of being emotional. But I don't see that as a bad thing per se. Yes, it's true. Women are emotional. Men are also emotional. Have you ever gone to a pub and watched men watch football? That is the highlight of emotionality in men. Like if their favorite team doesn't score, they are able to shoot themselves in there. Like literally. So I'm like, what is this whole talk of emotions? Everybody's emotional. It just depends on how you manage your emotions. That's the key point, actually. And if I actually think the reason why I said emotions too is it's a very good factor to take into place is the fact that you're able to have empathy, and with that you're able to lead with a sense of understanding, with a sense of humility for people to like, you're like, okay, I want to create a better world for people. Yeah, I mean, you should not be too emotional, but you cannot completely eradicate emotionality and say, oh, being emotional is a bad thing. It will make you a good leader. No, it actually makes you connect with human beings, because what? Guess what? Human beings are social beings, and we want to be understood. So I don't understand this whole women are emotional. Okay, does that make them? Does that mean they are bad leaders? I'm very confused here. If anything, I mean, men with their egos, you should be scared about that. You should be scared about that.
Embodying. I say, and I know that
jeez.
you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say: you can roll your cotton balls, but you sure can't shoot them. So men are strong just like Trump, because in the first 100 days, what did he do? He started
Oh,
writing
jeez.
executive orders.
Yeah.
He started writing executive orders day after day after day after day after day after day. Women would probably say, hey, ooh, let me take a break. That's why.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, listen. Clearly, I disagree with you about Trump. But that's actually not relevant to my counter argument. I'll tell you why. Because even if Trump was a good leader, that doesn't mean that therefore men are better at leading than women on average. Like, for instance, in the same way that you could give an anecdote of a man that you think is good at leading to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women, well, I could just give an anecdote of the opposite. Hitler was a man, he was a terrible leader, therefore men are worse at leading than women. All right? But
True.
clearly that's not how it works, because we cannot attempt to allow an anecdote of what we think about one individual man to then exist as a portrait for a generalization about all men.
Why did you have to say Hitler?
Because he's obviously a bad leader that's a man?
Yeah, and
You agree?
the president of the United States, which is the commander in chief, Donald J. Trump, is a great leader.
Okay.
And he's a great leader because he won a landslide.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
if he could
true.
run again, he would run a landslide again.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's not. He's a terrible president. His policy sucks. How about this? What's your favorite Trump policy? I mean, a bill passed through Congress, then signed into law.
I'm a former college coach, and not having men in women's sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm sorry, what bill was that? I asked you a very specific
We
We
question.
got to stop there that you've been voted out by the majority.
Yeah, I totally understand that this is actually a debate as well, and I mean, you have to pick a side. But then again, what he says makes total sense in the fact that because Trump is able to be, I mean, in this sense, a good leader, which is relative per person, you wouldn't take that and say, okay, this man is a good leader to you, meaning that means every man is a good leader by default. That doesn't make any sense. And same as you wouldn't take like a female president and say, okay, she's a horrible president, and then by default women should not even think about being in positions of power, because why? One woman somewhere in position of power, she did bad decisions, made bad choices, and by default all women are the same. That doesn't make any sense as well.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Okay.
All right. If you want to debate this claim, please get to the center in 3, 2, 1.
I remember you. Were you on my first rounded episode?
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Tell us why you think men are better at leading than women. It's worth me like reminding you and maybe everybody else in the room that so far a lot of the people who've come up and sat in that chair have really missed the mark. Like that last lady. She told me that men are better at leading than women because she likes Trump. Okay, let's hear in general why men are better at leading than women.
Well, this is why I think you're going to be surprised. I actually agree with you,
And why are you in the chair?
and I respectfully disagree with some of them. Well, I'm just saying some of the points that they were bringing up about a woman being pregnant, and because somebody's can carry a baby, that they're not fit to lead.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
it's the same argument where we say men go to work and come home and the woman stays and handles the household and the children. So is that not a powerful position? And I also have to, I'm respectfully disagreeing here, and
I think this is the only woman that has come in and made some sort of sense. Some sort of sense. Because the three previous women just came and just downgraded women. And I find it very appalling, to be honest. Because it's like, women in the 90s, 1920s, didn't have the right to vote. legit. You didn't have the right to vote. You didn't have the right to own properties. Like, you basically, you didn't have a voice in the community. And women had to fight, had to protest to be able to have the same rights as men. And then you come here saying this nonsense, this bullshit. Oh, women are emotional. If women back then didn't protest and push in to have rights same as men, do you think you have the capacity to be able to vote for Trump? Do you think you're going to be here talking about I love him? Yeah, I don't have anything against him, but why are you downgrading yourself to that point? It's sick. Really, this is nonsense, because it's like women fought to be able to have this position right here, at this moment in this day and age, and you are fantasizing about how men are better leaders compared to you as a woman. So does it mean everything those women did back then, protesting, fighting for their rights, fighting to be able to own properties without the permission of their husband or spouse, being able to work, earn the same salaries as their male counterparts, was all of that nonsense? I'm actually waiting to hear what she has to say, and I hope it makes sense.
I want you to give me an example, if you can tell me hypothetically, of a woman that you think would be a better leader than Trump right now.
So just to clarify, you don't think men are better at leading than women?
No, Dean, because
Perfect.
if I'm in...
I'm really happy that you don't think that.
I just told you, I agree with you, right?
I want you and everybody else in the room to obviously not think that men are better at leading than women. But unfortunately, the nature of this surrounded episode is where we have disagreeers in the hot seat.
Yes, so I'm asking
I'm happy
you.
you're not, though.
So
but-
if we're walking down a dark alley, let's say we're on Figueroa or something, I would be the person having to protect you. I mean, everybody's built differently. I feel like I would have to be protecting you. I'm taller. I'm sure I weigh more than you. I mean, you can take as many classes as you want.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's true, Dean.
Listen.
Men and women are...
I'm not going to disrespect your ego the same way you're attempting to insult me, and that's fine.
Well, no,
See, I'll be
it's
the
a
bigger person here.
No,
that's
it's
the difference
it's
between
a
the
size
left and the right.
comparison. So it depends on where this conversation is going. If you're looking at body
That's
type,
funny, though.
I'm sorry, there are women that are larger
Can
than
you
men.
guys vote her out because she doesn't think that men are better at leading than women?
Tracy, it does sound like you agree on this.
I don't think she understood the point, really. I don't think she understood the topic, because what is she saying? You don't disagree with him. It's obvious.
Yes.
Prompt. So we're going to have you return to your seat and bring in a disagreeer.
Okay.
All right, if you disagree with this claim and you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Hello.
Your name's Julia?
Julia Kate. So I want to ask you, inherent in your statement that men are not better leaders than women,
Yeah.
there's the sense that you believe men and women are different, correct?
I think that there's obviously distinctions between men and women, or else we wouldn't have two different words to refer to two different groups.
So what are some of the distinctions?
Well, I mean, there's distinctions in the sense of cultural and social attitudes and behaviors. There's going to be that are, of course, innate to men and women, because
So you
I don't
don't
think
believe
that
in innate
prescriptive.
distinctions?
I don't think that prescriptive gender norms exist. Now, like from your perspective, that we were to define the genders on the basis of sex, of course, then there's going to be sexual dimorphism, and there's going to be differences present within that. Of course, like there's a plethora of differences. Listen, I'm not denying that there are differences between men and women, because once
Differences
again,
biologically,
if there
differences.
wasn't differences between men and women, well, then we wouldn't have two distinct groups.
Okay, so we agree
But
on that.
what my claim is I don't think that any of the differences that exist between men and women would amount to being relevant to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women.
Do you
I'll
think
actually
women
ask
are better at leading than men?
No, I actually think that gender is completely irrelevant to the
Interchangeable is
prospects
what you're saying.
of if somebody is better at leading than the other person. I ultimately think that there's going to be no determinative ability, regardless if we're making the claim that men are better at leading than women or women are better at leading than men, to ever make that
Okay,
prescriptive
so what
claim.
I'm hearing is that men and women are essentially interchangeable in your mind.
Well, in my mind, once again, I just don't
Just
believe
yes
in
or
the
no.
prescriptive gender norms.
Okay,
And I
got
think
you.
that ultimately one's gender is irrelevant
can
to
I
their
ask you a
leadership
question?
capabilities. If you can tell me what are the relevant differences between men and women
Yes.
that make men better at leading than women?
Yes, we can go back to the hunter and gatherers when men were the ones going out to hunt and women were the ones staying with the children and gathering fruits and nuts. Men are the people that go towards risk, that go towards provision, naturally. Why is it that in today's, even our influencer community, we have more women that are drawn towards beauty, makeup, things like family, schooling, and men are more drawn towards traditionally masculine things? It's innate in every culture that you see this trend. We are hormonally different. That's been mentioned throughout this place. You as a man do not know what it's like to have a cycle, to have a period, to have your hormones go up and down.
Yeah.
That is insanely significant for a woman's ability to lead. And women will complain about being scared.
And we are once again back to this emotional talk. She mentioned the fact that, I mean, back in the Stone Age, men went to hunt, basically went, they were the ones going to the risk, and women were the ones staying at home. I understand that. I understand, but we don't live in that era anymore, whereby it requires strength to do that. Because I'm guessing I mean, back then during the Stone Age, men would do that because physiologically they are stronger than women. They have more muscle mass compared to women, and as such, they're able to handle physical stress, physical fights, physical things, basically challenges that have to do with physical stress. They could handle it, they could manage it better than women, because women don't have the mass and all of that. But in this day and age, yeah, there are still jobs that require that level of, I mean, that is that men is very men concentrated. But then again, we don't need to have any sort of physical advantage to maintain those roles. We live in an era whereby, I mean, look at the social media. You don't need to have muscles everywhere to do that, or you don't need to be extremely feminine to do that, or have a natural or be a very feminine woman to do social media or do most of the jobs out there. It's more of your academics, your studies, how you think, if you're creative. So it's not gender based. Anyone can do it. Anyone can handle it, as long as you're able to tackle issues that pertain to the job per se. Let's say in this case, being a president, I would think for you to be a president, you have to be someone that knows how to handle stress, handle crisis, be stress resistant, know how to manage people. I would think that that's what you need to be a president. And all of that has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. It has nothing to do with that. So coming back and talking about period, women go through cycle. What does cycle have to do with being in a position of leadership? That
To walk on the streets at night, and yet they'll elect the same politicians that release the criminals on the street.
Do you think that women should lose the right to vote?
I think that I'm not talking about that today.
You just got to get a quick yes or no, then go back to the topic.
I think that we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk, who will have secure borders, who will not let criminals
Did you
on the
just
street.
unironically say strong alpha males?
Strong alpha males, yeah.
Bro, get a grip. Stand up. Listen.
Bro, get a grip. You're a man. Do you want to mansplain to me?
Well, I mean, actually, you just said that men are better at leading than women, so you should listen to every word that comes out of my mouth per your perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So if you think that men are the strong alpha males and women are the emotional followers, why won't you follow my lead and listen to what I have to say?
First off,
because you don't believe what you say.
That is a straw man. I believe that male and female are created equal in the image of God. We each have the same dignity and the same value. We have the same brain, the same rationality, but we have different and distinct roles.
Okay.
Why is it that women can get pregnant? Only females can get pregnant.
Well, of course, that would boil down to the physical biology.
Because isn't that
innate
that women are more geared towards child rearing and child raising than men are?
So once again, the way that we started this conversation was by me agreeing that there are going to be differences between men and women.
Exactly.
You just simply disagree.
What is she talking about, alpha males? Like, what is this nonsense? What does being an alpha male have to do with being a president? I don't understand. And you're talking about men handling situation, being an alpha male, and women basically take a step behind. You are not called up for this. I mean, he has a point. Listen to every word that comes out of my mouth, because that, to you, baby girl, that's spoken truth. You're bringing alpha male. Alpha male? Oh my god. I don't know. I hate it when women are so men eccentric. Like you're just, oh, I'm okay being in my small corner, you know. You the alpha male, go handle it. What? Oh please.
that are
Finish?
leaders.
I would love if I could finish. You can't say because there's differences between two things that thereby innately one of the two things is going to be better at leading than the other. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Listen, once again, my claim is that the differences that do exist between men and women ultimately don't amount to justifying the claim that men are better at leading than women. And let me respond because you made a lot of claims.
On and on.
I think it's been the opposite.
Okay.
To respond to your claims,
Thank
you
you,
said
sir.
that there's a difference in the hormonal balances of men and women that make women more emotional. Well, I mean, I already went over this with
It's not even just more emotional. It's that our bodies are not equipped to handle the same levels of cortisol as men. We
They're
need
actually more
care.
equipped.
Look at Donald Trump. The
They're
man
more
literally.
equipped.
Excuse me, what? Uh, 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 women are not women are not built to handle the same cortisol level as men. Baby girl, you are just counteracting yourself. What are you saying? Women go through the most stressful biological process, which is pregnancy, and to do that you have to have the capacity to handle stress. Like, I feel like women's stress level is way over the roof. Like, getting pregnant, giving birth, something men will never understand, and you sit there and talk about women are not built to handle cortisol level. That what nonsense are you saying? What are you saying? I don't know. These women, they come in talking about, oh, women are too emotional. Women are too emotional, but cannot handle the stress men have to go through. We are emotional. For us to be emotional and go through hormonal issues, hormonal fluctuations, PMS, menstruation, pregnancy, childbirth, your body is going everywhere, doing all sort of things, and then you, after all of that, you now come out and say, I'm just a weak woman, I'm not as strong as you, the man. Wow. Like, you're not even giving yourself props. The fact that it's a man that has to come out and make points for you, that's the woman. I think this is a lot of brainwashing that has been happening, and they don't know they're being brainwashed. They don't even know. I don't even think they even know their own capacity. Jeez.
Lives off of Diet Coke and McDonald's.
Okay.
We could not do that.
Okay. Listen, actually, women are more equipped than men to deal with stress. It is proven by
That's
the science.
actually not true.
No, I'll tell you. You could look this up. Anybody at home could look this up. Women have thicker dendrites in their brain, and study after study after study has concluded time and time again
Do
that
you
this
think-
gives women the ability to better manage their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up childbirth. The reason why women have thicker dendrites in their brain, giving
We
them
are
a
made to
greater
go through
navigation
physical
ability,
pain for
giving
our
them a greater
children.
giving them a greater ability to deal with their pain and stress, is because of childbirth. Okay?
Yes, because
and that's
childbirth
exactly why
is a
women can
big
deal with their
thing.
stress better than men. So your claim that the opposite is true is wrong. And plus,
We-
once again, when we look in society, how men deal with stress compared to how women deal with stress, well, when a man gets mad, he commits a violent crime, he kills his wife, he kidnaps
Do
his
you know-
children, he sets
okay.
his house ablaze. And this is why men are significantly more likely to commit every single crime on the books,
We need
including
strong
crimes.
men.
Oh my God. God bless you. God bless you, this man. God bless you. And I think another thing I've noticed too is the fact that women are emotional and can handle stress. I feel like they have better emotional they're able to handle their emotions better compared to men that they believe they don't have emotions as much, and when something triggering happens to them, they don't know how to manage their emotions. They just they just basically bust out and do things that you would never imagine, like, how did you get from 0 to 1000? So actually, yes, women have emotions. I mean, I've made that point clear, but I think they're able to manage their emotions better because they are conscious about that. But men, oh, I'm a man. I don't have emotions. I'm strong. And because of that, you feel like you can power through everything in life in that manner. You see men, I think they have the highest rate of suicide when they get angry. If they don't know how to manage their emotions, they basically commit atrocities in the society. Why? Because they cannot manage their emotions.
that do not have a necessity for any use of physical strength, such as arson, cyberbullying,
If you think
or
women are such good
terroristic
leaders, why won't you
threats.
let me speak?
Well, I'll happily let you speak in response to the things that I've said, as long as you're able to stay on
I
topic
am
and
able to
respond to
stay
the
on
meat on the
topic
bone.
because I'm a woman and I have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better at leading than men.
No, we're not. We're good
Oh,
in
okay.
our
Oh,
certain
well,
roles.
you
We
don't
have
have a
our
brain.
strengths and our values. We're good at raising children. We're very smart and adaptable. But men are the people that need to be out there fighting crime for us, protecting us, so that we feel safe and we can keep our children safe. Why do you think that
Okay, so you women are smart. Women can take care of kids. Women, you're basically saying women are capable, but they are not capable enough to be a leader. Sister, what are you saying? What are you saying?
just historically, more men are CEOs, more men are presidents, senators, whatever kind of leadership role you want to talk about? That is not because of white supremacy, colonization, or some kind of legal limit. It's
Okay.
because men are drawn to those roles. Today, women have the same exact rights as men, and still,
Respectfully, I disagree with you. The reason why men tend to have all of this, being able to be at the position of power, is because of centuries and centuries and centuries of patriarchy. So I think about it, it's like them having like a head start compared to women, and we are just catching up. It's not because they are drawn to it. I mean, everyone can be drawn to power, regardless of you being a man or a woman. It has nothing to do with, oh, he's a man, he's drawn to power. What do you mean? Take it back to the 90s. Like, men have always been at the, like, they've had a head start, solid head start at basically controlling how the world revolves. That is it. It has nothing to do with they are attracted to it. Women too want to be leaders as well, but we are in 2026, and I feel like we are just catching up. We're just catching up little by little. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Respectfully, of course.
a lot of them choose to stay at home or feel that they can't stay at home because of societal pressures.
Okay. Well, I think that you said it there at the end. Societal pressures. Societal pressures are the reason why I think that we've seen more men in positions of power, more men in leadership fields, and more men's calling the shot. But if you're the position that underpins your claim here would be that if we see an overrepresentation of men in a field in comparison to women, that men are then by definition better performing in that field. So in the same way you're claiming that because of a vast majority of leaders are men, therefore women are worse at leading, would you also claim that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? I just want a direct yes or no to my question, so then I can follow this up with a dialogue.
Become surgeons because it's a more masculine thing. It takes more masculine traits.
Could you
To
answer
have
my
to look
question?
at the blood. I said yes, but I want to ask you.
I
would
have
you
to
agree-
What are you saying, sis? What are you saying? What does being a surgeon have to do with masculine traits? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Being a surgeon basically requires you going to medical school. I mean, I'm talking about under normal circumstances. You go to medical school, then you go for training after that, and then you get experience. Everything has to do with your mental capacity at handling the pressure of being a doctor, being a surgeon. This has nothing to do with power or your muscularity. I mean, obviously that there are certain fields of surgery, such as like orthopedics, that I would think would require certain level of manpower, because you are dealing with bones, breaking bones, adjusting them, and all of that. But even at that, I think women can still do it. What does being a surgeon have to do with men's traits? Oh, I think there's been a rewiring in this woman's brain, and she needs help. She needs help.
Men are more oppressed today than women. Men are told that they're toxic for being masculine. The only laws that prevent any gender
Please
from
don't
getting a
vote her
role.
out. I need to respond.
We have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking
Okay.
opportunities away from men.
Okay.
You are
You
oppressed
just
more than me.
This chick is crazy. Okay, listen, I think that you're crazy because you just said that I'm more oppressed than you, while also claiming that I'm a better leader than you after making the argument that disproportionately men have been in positions of leadership throughout history when leadership is what grants power. But anyways, insanity. Listen, I asked you a question. I said, do you think that men are better at surgery than women? Because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women. The reason why I asked this question is because you made the claim that men are better at leading than women because a vast majority of leaders have been men. You said, yes, Dean, because a vast majority of surgeons are men, therefore men are better. The science says, no, men are actually worse at surgery. So the American Medical Association did a study in conjunction with the Journal of the American Medical Association. They did this study on 1.4 million patients over 6 continents in 14 years. And what they determined consistently is that when we account for every single confounding variable that could possibly exist, every single time, men are significantly more likely to kill a patient on the operating table or to give them negative postoperative outcomes in comparison to women. It is one of the most well-accredited studies ever conducted in human history that has reasonably concluded that women are better at surgery than men, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. And this is exactly what debunks your claim that if a field is overrepresented
That's
by
not
men,
what
that
I
therefore
said.
men are better
I said
at
it's
performing in it.
reflective of our natural desires and what men and women are naturally drawn to.
But women are better at surgery, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. That completely debunks your argument.
Sure, that could be a thing, but I'm saying
So you
that naturally
concede.
men are drawn towards roles of risk and provision. That's because of innate biological characteristics.
women are better at
and
surgery.
I said that you're oppressed because of society telling you that you need to be a beta woke man. You are not like oppressed as a leader. Like instinctually you want to lead, you want to teach me. That's because of your nature, and I appreciate that very much. But I disagree with your claims.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to concede here that your argument that men are better at leading than women because more men are leaders than women
That
is
was not my
false. And the
argument. That
reason
is
Okay,
strong.
we gotta stop there. We're out of time, so please return to your seat.
Pleasure.
my next surrounded claim is Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator.
Okay, if you want to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name
Howdy,
is Shiva
howdy.
Bagari.
What's your name?
Shiva Bagari.
Shiva Bagari. Well, would you like me to take it away by explaining to you why I think Donald Trump is
Sure,
a misogynistic
yeah.
sexual predator?
Yeah.
First and foremost, he's a sexual predator because a court has held him civilly liable for raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. Of course, raping somebody is something that would make one a sexual predator. In 2005, he also boasted about engaging in sexual violence by sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants at the beauty pageants that he owned by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their naked bodies. And this isn't an allegation from some woman that you could defame and say just wants money or fame. No, this was an admittance of guilt, something that Donald Trump said he did on Howard Stern's radio show. And I see you shaking your head. I'll happily play you the clip if you want. And we also
Yes, please,
see...
please show me the clip because I
What did
do
you
not
do?
believe it. Yes, take it out.
Yeah, these are like some serious accusations. I think I also saw some information pertaining to Trump in the Epstein file as well. So him saying this is, to be honest, not surprising or shocking to say the least. But yeah, I mean, if your name can appear in the Epstein files, whew, I see you are, bruv, you are capable of doing things. I mean, things.
Got it preloaded.
Okay, good.
So you have done that. Well, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right. I want to make sure that like everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Why don't we start there? Mike's yours.
Okay, well, he said that he probably sees them. It doesn't say they're naked there, so
It does.
they might have. No, it doesn't.
You said that they have no clothes on. When you have no clothes on, you're
No,
naked.
who said that they didn't have clothes on?
Donald Trump.
He didn't say that in the clip.
Yeah, I'll show.
Sis, he actually did. I don't know what level of brainwashing this is. I feel like, to be honest, I think you guys are in a cult because this is giving cult energy. Like, it's like you have selective hearing. I'm gonna hear this and I'm not gonna hear this, so that it's like, it doesn't clash with what's going on in my brain cells. You don't want to spoil what's going on in there. You want to maintain it, so you selectively decide not to hear some certain informations and you choose not to understand what it means. But we all heard it.
Show you.
Okay, again, I want to hear
That's
it
fine.
again.
Doc's gonna be there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you
There you go.
Oh, well, it's a he didn't actually say clothes, but he said
I think it's important for us to be intelligent, rational people.
Okay,
You
so
say no clothes, and
yeah,
then Howard Stern says, so you're like a
I
doctor.
definitely don't agree
Why did
with
Howard
that.
Stern
Okay,
say you're like
first
a
off,
doctor? Because doctors get to see people naked.
Okay, I don't agree with that. But men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Cult energy. Because after you've heard this, you're still in denial. Like, okay, yes, I heard that, but even though he's just being a man, he's not doing anything wrong. What? Are you? This is the definition of living in denial. Like you choose not to understand. You don't want to understand. You don't even want to be converted. Basically, you just, yeah, this is what I've been brainwashed to believe. Even though he's wrong, like my logical tiny brain cells are saying there's something wrong with this, I still have to defend it. No, he can't be wrong. There's a reason why he did what he did, you know. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Attracted to women
Dude.
than someone that is not. And I actually like looking at women too, and I'm not even a lesbian, but I think women's bodies are beautiful. It's like
Ma'am,
art
I'm
to
sorry.
me.
No,
It's
I'm
art to
sorry.
me.
This is disgusting.
No.
Are we talking about the same thing? You're talking about men's preference to looking at women, like sexual preference. Man loves looking at women, which first of all can be a little bit, can be creepy, depending on how you do that. And then you're here defending, oh, even I love to look at women. Is that what we're talking about? Is that the context of what we are talking about? You just heard a man saying he takes advantage of his position of power to go see women wearing no clothes. And you're here talking about, yes, men love to look at women. Even I too love to look at women. Are you losing the plot of the conversation, or you're just talking about senseless information? Oh my God. I don't know if I can get to the end of this video because I'm getting triggered seriously by these women. Oh.
You just told me that you would prefer a man who, quote unquote, likes the female body and is willing to barge into the private women's only dressing room and still look at them while they have no clothes on.
I said
compared
before
to
that
you're saying, I think that real men with testosterone are sexual predators.
So you just lied about me right now because I said I don't believe what he did was right.
But it was
but
I would prefer a man who likes to look at the naked bodies of women that got
I've been over someone that is attracted to other men. Yes.
Why?
Absolutely. Because it's not natural.
It's not natural to be gay?
It's natural to be attracted to the opposite
Define
sex.
natural.
Natural is what God made, Adam and Eve.
So God didn't make gay people?
Well, actually,
I thought that God was the creator of all.
No, that's sin. And
are we seriously going to overlook the fact that this guy was a creep? What are you talking about? No natural. I'm very sure she's going to bring in the context of God made this, or God made so it should be natural, man, woman. Yes, I totally understand that, but you using your position of power to go look at women, and then you're like, oh, I was trying to inspect. You know what you're doing? You're being a creep, and that's disgusting to say the least. And you're yet defending him and saying he's what you prefer he looks at women's body. What is the relationship between those two things?
And sin came from the devil.
No, sin is a conscious decision. Being gay is not a conscious decision.
Well, actually, being gay is a conscious decision.
Okay, could you choose to be gay?
It's an action.
Could you choose to be gay?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you choose to be?
I actually could have chosen to be gay when I was younger.
Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
A lot of women actually
Could you
to hit
choose
on
to be
me,
attracted
and
to your
I
mom?
said
If
no.
attractions are a
But I
choice, could
do
you choose
look
to be
at-
attracted to your mom?
Huh? Can you choose to be a pedophile?
No, I couldn't choose to be a pedophile. Could you choose to be attracted
Oh,
to your mom?
Oh, so there you go. He thinks, no, it's an action, honey. And you can choose to sin or you can choose not to sin. I try to keep the devil away from
Can
me.
I just get a clear answer to the question?
And no, this is a clear answer. But see, you don't come from a biblical standpoint.
What are
You
the
You see what I said? They're always going to bring the Bible to defend the nonsense they're about to say. So him going and looking at women naked, it's not a sin. Creeping on them and knowing you are intentionally knowing that you're going to do this, like, I'm going to go use my position of power because I'm the owner of the pageant to go see naked women, and that's you don't find anything wrong with that. You're here debating whether gayism is sin or not, or the Bible, and someone was looking at somebody violating their privacy, and you're here talking about Bible and sin and whatever. Double standards at its peak.
come
First
from
four
a
books in the New
worldly
Testament.
standpoint. I come from a biblical standpoint that there's two sexes, there's no 50 different genders. That came from a pedophile named John Money who lied about a study to push reassignment surgery on thousands of people through his lie that butchered this poor boy and put him through hell. Reimer twins, go look it up on Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm gonna ask
you
the
don't
question
live
again.
You don't live in
I'm gonna ask the
reality.
question
I
again.
live in reality where I know that a
Jesus.
tree is a tree, a woman is a woman, a man's a man, and if you are
And a moron's a moron.
and if you're choosing, see, that's what they do. When they
Oh.
can't win an argument, they go for calling.
Okay,
names.
pause. Everybody pause. Dean, we gotta ask that you don't do personal attacks. That's a
Okay.
warning.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, the question once again was, could you choose to be attracted to your mother? The reason why I'm asking you this question is because you had suggested that all attractions are a choice.
It is
so
a
please,
choice.
with just a concise yes or no, could you choose to literally be sexually aroused by your mother? So there's two possible answers to this question. The first possible answer is yes, Dean, I could choose to be attracted to my own mother. And the second possible answer would be no, Dean, I could not
But
choose to
you're
be sexually
trying
aroused by
to-
my own
you're
mother.
trying to do a
so
hook
what's
on
your
me.
answer?
Could I
It's
just,
a hook.
do you have a yes or no for that?
No, because this is a hook. Because I will never be attracted to
But
my
could you
mother and
choose?
father because it's a choice, but I would never do that because I'm a Christian.
So could you choose?
That's it. I'm not going to say that on camera. That's weird. And I'm not going to be in the hook of this young man that's 21-year-old telling a 52-year-old to say something disgusting like that.
So you admit that it's disgusting to
Yes.
think that you could choose to be attracted
Yeah.
to your mother.
We gotta stop there. That you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat. If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2.
Howdy.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm
My
gonna
name
try
is
to.
Zuriel.
Zuriel, it's a pleasure
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you.
We're gonna go back to the prompts. I think that Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator. The reasons why I think this are some of them that I shared with the last guest. It's because I think that Donald Trump is a. He had a civil court determine that he raped a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. We listened to that clip of Donald Trump bragging about engaging in sexual violence. Listen, I take a sexual predator to be somebody that is engaged in sexual violence. Donald Trump bragged about that when he said he'd barge into the dressing rooms of the women at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. If Donald Trump's admission of guilt in that clip that I played to the last lady is true, and this is indeed something that Donald Trump has done, then by definition, Donald Trump would be a sexual predator, and thereby, by definition, I'd be right.
Can we both agree that people in power of elitists, people up there in politics, all have their own, maybe their own immoral traits to why they're running for candidacy? Like we've heard about Epstein files,
Yes.
about all these different people that, maybe they're not really here to make a change for us.
Yes.
And can we agree with that?
Yes.
I could care less about what Donald Trump says on the media, because
But
I
it's-
believe as long as he does his very best to be a good president and do the best for this economy, I don't vote for a president based off their character. I vote for them based off what they can get done. Honestly,
I would like to just take a moment. Let's look at what you said.
Okay.
Are you saying, Dean, it's true Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator, but I could care less because of his policy?
What I'm saying is,
Can I just get a
we
straight answer?
obviously can't deny that maybe he has bad traits of his character. I'm not gonna agree that I don't know everything about Trump like you do.
Okay,
But
let's start
what
from
I
the
care
top.
about is his economy. I don't care about what he has to say
Let's start from the top of this
the
debate.
news.
You sit down. I tell you Donald Trump is a sexual predator. I tell you he's a sexual predator because he raped a woman and boasted about sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants.
The reason why
you
I'm not responding to your claim is 'cause I don't know much
okay,
about what
so
you see in
let's
the
just
courthouse
let's
and
test your
whatnot.
logic. What do you say, Dean? Even if it was true, Donald Trump was a sexual predator, because you don't know about the evidence for it, which is something you should look into on your own time. I would
Right.
still support him as president and could care less. Is that your position?
I would still support him as president because he does what's best for the economy and for the American dream.
Yeah.
Okay,
The truth about this is that in this world we live in, the truth about this is that in this world we live in day and age, if you have the power and the money, you can literally do anything you want to do. Yeah. And people would still defend you regardless of whatever you did in the past or currently, because why? You have the money and the power. So I mean, he has basically, with all of these allegations on him and what he just said, he has a very questionable character trait. But then again, people will still, despite that, still defend him and say, okay, yeah, he does that, but you know, he still handles issues. He still brings in policies that favors them, and by reference of that, he's a good president, even though he has a character problem.
You've been voted out. We got to pause there.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Quote unquote, I would still support Donald Trump as president if he was a sexual predator. If he was a child rapist, they'd still support him.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in
That's the
3,
hard truth.
2.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Liz.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Nice to meet you.
Listen, I think that you've heard my arguments. You happen to be sitting in a position where you could hear my voice. Mic is yours.
Okay, so my question is, because you mentioned Donald Trump going into the women's locker rooms,
Yeah.
are all trans people sexual predators?
So I would not say that trans women are sexual predators for using the women's restroom. I think that the definition of sexual violence would be any sexual act that is done without consent, and I don't think that this would be true of trans women who use a women's restroom. And I have an argument for why I think that trans women should be able to use a women's restroom, but let's try to take advantage of our time. Instead of me giving you my argument, let's just hopefully stay on topic with the claim that Donald Trump is a sexual predator because he's raped a woman. He's boasted about sexually exploiting women by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their naked bodies without consent, then telling Howard Stern how much he
Okay.
loved it and how incredible they looked. He's mentioned the Epstein
it
files
was-
over a
but
million
the
times.
women, the young women in sports who do not want biological men in their dressing rooms, doesn't that go against them?
Well, we
what
could-
about their safety?
I would
The fact that you're comparing transgender and this man boasting about how he went into women's locker rooms and was goggling on them, and the fact that his name has been on Epstein files multiple times, I think those are two different things. You just yeah, the transgender can go into women's locker rooms, and I mean that alone has it's a topic on its own. But a man that is consciously doing all of these disgusting things and boasting about it, knowing that nothing can happen because why? He's in a position of power, he has the money to handle all of these issues. I think that is something we should really, really, really take a look at. It's really worrisome.
love to have a conversation with you about trans people in dressing rooms, or sorry, more so locker rooms. And I understand where you're coming from if you say, well, I don't want a trans woman in my dressing room because I would see their naked body and their genitalia.
Well, no, it's not,
the reason why I get it, the reason why I understand where you're coming from is because even when I go into my gym's locker room and I see other dudes with their dicks out, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't really want them to see me. I don't want them to see me. So I advocate, one moment, I advocate for unisex, unistall, one person at one time changing rooms in locker rooms and gyms and sports across the
Because
country.
the thing is,
that's my
part of
position.
Part of
But let's
your
talk about the
claim,
claim that Donald Trump is a sexual
This is
predator.
part of the claim.
Well, you're not.
First of all,
do you accept that
accusation-
Donald Trump is a sexual
I
predator?
can accuse you of being a sexual predator.
And if I admitted to doing it, then it would be true. Donald Trump admitted to barging into those dressing rooms, and a court found him guilty of raping Eugene Carroll.
Actually,
No, he did. No, they didn't. That's a lie.
They certainly did.
No,
they actually
Yes, they
did.
Listen, do you
Sis.
accept that the definition of rape would include the penetration of a woman's with any part of a man's body, including his fingers?
Without consent.
Yeah. So specifically, the action that the jury found Donald Trump guilty for
Okay,
was
but what-
forcefully penetrating Eugene
No.
Carroll's.
I think what's going on right now in the world with men and women is that women are accusing a lot of men of rape. And until I see actual proof Because a jury can just agree with anything. That's something else, okay? Until there is actual proof and evidence, and if you can show me the proof that Donald Trump raped her, then fine.
Thank you so much for the great question. What's all the evidence? So the first form of evidence that we would have would be E. Jean Carroll's testimony, in which has maintained consistency for the last 30 years, as corroborated by 4 of her friends that testified under penalty of perjury. The second form of
And
evidence
no
that we'd
one's
have
lied
here,
under penalty of perjury.
well,
Once again, she sounds like the girls in the cult. Because he just played an audio message where he's boasting about doing something like that, but she's still in denial. You want proof? You want did you actually make your research? Did you? I mean, there are so many things you can actually hear to actually ring a bell in your brain at some point, even though you didn't see it with your eyes. There should be some atom of truth to that.
well, can you please examine the evidence in which I provide
Go
as
on,
soon as I'm
sorry.
done
I
providing it?
apologize. Go
We have
ahead.
therapist notes from the 90s indicating she was raped by Trump. We had the testimony of a psychotherapist that said when E. Jean Carroll was testifying to the fact she was raped by Donald Trump, she was exhibiting signs consistent with true trauma that we'd expect to be onset by a true victim of. Then we have Donald Trump's lies and inconsistencies. He lied. He said that he never met her as a part of his testimony for his defense. And then E. Jean Carroll responded by submitting a photo of them together to the court.
Do you
We also
remember
have,
every
I'm not done
single
with the evidence. I'm not done with the evidence. We have another line inconsistency on Donald Trump's behalf. He also said that he never raped her because she wasn't his type, but then he confused a picture of E. Jean Carroll to be his ex-wife Marla Maples under deposition, so clearly she was his type. Then we also have E. Jean Carroll's dress. E. Jean Carroll submitted a dress to the court, claiming it was the dress that she was raped in by Donald Trump. Court confirmed it had male DNA on it, and then when the court asked Donald Trump to provide a DNA sample to test against the DNA in the dress, he said, no, 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 no. Doesn't sound like something an innocent man would do. And then the last and final piece of evidence we have would be his character priors. Listen, we all know that a one-time felon is around 73% more likely to engage in another felony compared to somebody that's never committed a crime in their life. The same thing rings true about being a sexual predator. So because Donald Trump has character priors with engaging in sexual predation, like the dressing room clip, proudly boasting about sexually exploiting naked women and girls, or like the Access Hollywood tape where he literally said that he would just grab women by their vaginas without asking first, and that's precisely what the jury found him guilty of doing, or everything to do with the Epstein files, that in consideration with the direct evidence submitted by E. Jean Carroll and his lies is absolutely what demonstrates Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll.
Okay, we got to stop there. We got to stop
with
there.
DNA.
The flags are up. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Yeah.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina.
Nice to meet you too, Gina.
Thank you. First of all, if Trump was truly a predator, he would have never reported Epstein to the feds.
Yeah, he didn't.
In the 90s. He did.
Do you mean
In the
2006?
Yeah, sorry, 2006.
That's okay.
Also, was he ever on the island?
Well, I don't think that there's any evidence to demonstrate he
He
was
was
on the
never
island.
on the
Because I
island.
don't think he needed to go to the island to get it
No,
off.
no.
Listen, about the 2006 quote-unquote report to the feds about Epstein, he didn't report him to the feds. Epstein got arrested, and then Donald Trump turned around, called the local sheriff, and said, oh, thank God you got him. We've known about what Epstein's been doing all along, which A, indicates that Donald Trump knew what Epstein was doing with Maxwell and didn't report him to the cops prior to Epstein's original arrest, and B, indicates that Donald Trump has been lying to us about the nature of his relationship with Epstein for the last 10 years.
No.
We've all heard Donald Trump say that he never knew what Epstein was doing, was never involved in, was completely oblivious, but according to
That's so true. I mean, what does he really say about his person? All this while you have been lying to us. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's you're trying to protect whatever you're trying to protect for your position or whatever. But aside from the fact that we can assume we were not on the island. It doesn't mean you did not engage in whatever activities he was engaged in as well. You yourself are proving this information without doubt. You don't need to be on the island. You're already doing what you need to be doing.
to that report to the sheriff, of course he knew.
Okay, so first of all, if he did do something, believe me, they would have found it. They had to make the Russian dossier up. They had to make things up to get Trump. Trump doesn't have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump. Okay, any woman.
Do you have a husband?
No.
Okay. Wait, well, let's actually test that. Could I have all the women with husbands or boyfriends in the room raise their hands? So her claim is that any woman would love to be with Trump.
Love.
Would you guys cheat on your husbands and boyfriends with Trump?
Well, that's a
Well, we didn't say if they were married. Not if we were
I
married.
mean,
Instead of anybody who's in a relationship, is there anybody who would want to be with
yeah,
Donald Trump?
let's do it the other way
He
around.
doesn't have to be a
Okay,
sexual predator.
who? Okay, all right. Listen, put your hand up if you would have sex with Donald Trump. Oh, geez.
If I was married to
Like, after hearing everything he just did, you were ready to engage in that sort of engagement with him. That's creepy. I told you guys, cult vibes. These women are giving cult vibes.
Trump, yes. And I'd love to be.
That's crazy.
Do you prefer Clinton? Why don't we talk about sexual predators as far as Bill Clinton?
Why? It's not
Okay,
about the
because he's a predator.
Okay, and if
Trump
he is,
doesn't
burn him,
have
throw him
to
under the
be a
jail. I don't
sexual
care.
predator. Trump did report him to the feds.
I thought I clarified
when-
that's not what
well,
happened.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. Show me that. Give me
Virginia,
evidence.
first of all, Virginia Guthrie worked at Mar-a-Lago in the early 2000s, and he prompted her to come and work for him as a massage therapist. Trump was pissed, and he reported Epstein.
Okay, well, I would recommend looking at the fact check that will likely be
Yeah.
on the video screen
Are you
that says,
sure
actually, he placed this phone call after Epstein was arrested to thank the cop and to tip them off about Ghislaine Maxwell, because that's what the fact check is going to say.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is in one scenario, he's reporting the crime to the cop to then get Epstein arrested. In the secondary scenario, he's thanking the cop after Epstein's
And
arrest
he
and indicating
added
that he knew
to
about what he was
the
doing.
indictments.
I think that in many scenarios, what we'll see from quote-unquote co-conspirators of criminals is, well, once their friend gets arrested for the same crime that they committed, will turn around and be all lovey-dovey to the police to try to, like, you know, indicate and promote the idea
that's
that
subjective.
they were involved.
I
And
was
the only
never
reason why I bring
there.
this up isn't to say I know with certainty that this is exactly what Trump did, but is rather to give plausible doubt to your
I mean, everything he said is 100% true. If the cops get to your friend before you, you're gonna try as much as possible to dissociate yourself. Oh, I never knew anything about this. You know, it's him. It's not me. You try as much as possible to, like, guys. If anything, if possible, you will snitch the hell out, so as to not, don't put the attention on me, because you and that person know what you guys have been doing under the shits, and then they catch your friend, and then now you're like, guys, I wasn't there, or you, like they said, you tip off, and then, everyone pay attention there, don't look at me. That's what it is. That's just what it is.
he's not a sexual predator, even though he admitted to it on Howard Stern's radio show, and even though a court found him guilty of rape.
A court never found him guilty of. First of all, if he was guilty of, he'd be in chains right now.
That's not how civil courts
They
work.
had to make. Yeah, it is.
Civil courts don't send people to jail. They hold people financially liable. That's the nature of our criminal justice
But
system.
he would have been in jail.
You're not familiar with statute of limitations, then.
I'm familiar with
What's the
that.
statute of limitations?
You can only accuse somebody within a matter of time, but right now
so
it's
if
30
Eugene,
years.
So if Eugene Carroll,
Right now
came
it's
out
30 years.
after the statute of
She's
limitations had
out of
passed
her mind,
for
she's
sexual abuse
insane.
in the state of New York
They
against
threw her
Donald
case
Trump,
out.
do you agree that even if she had a video of it happening to her, he wouldn't be in jail because the statute of limitations had
That's
passed?
not true. There is no statute of limitations when it comes to.
So by the law, the crime that Donald Trump committed, per the New York State legal definition of rape and of sexual abuse in 2019 through
He never
2022,
committed that crime.
was specifically sexual abuse. Because legally speaking, in New York, they only defined rape as penile penetration of the vagina, and she testified that he raped her with his fingers instead of his penis. So
No,
because of
that's
that,
a lie.
it would
There's
be
no
legally
proof of that.
categorized as sexual abuse, and that's the crime that had a
She's
statute
out of her
limitations
mind.
on
She's
it.
insane, and they threw the case out just recently.
Okay, why do
we
you
got
think
to
she's out of
pause
her
there.
mind?
We got to pause there. You've been voted out.
I don't know if this is like Stockholm syndrome or something. And you're like you're so in denial about what someone can do that you're ready to defend them with your life. You just heard someone did horrendous things to people. His name appeared on the Epstein file, and you're still out here defending, regardless of if a women's name were there as well. It doesn't exclude them from being questionable people as well. But you're talking about Trump, and you're defending him with everything you've got. You're not even trying to be reasonable about this. Did you make your research before coming here? I don't know. I feel like I'm having secondhand embarrassment for these women, honestly, because this guy is really coming for them, and everything is like, no. So far, the points they've made doesn't hold water.
Hands, this is not to shame anybody. I was just genuinely curious. Raise your flag really clearly so we could get a poll. If at Donald Trump's, like, you know, when he was in his 40s, if you think he was an attractive man. I just want to get a raise of flags.
What?
This is so concerning.
Keep your flag up if you think he is currently still hot. Okay, I appreciate it.
Hell no!
All right, if you would like to be the next debater, please.
Are you sure these people are not in the cult? Because what in the hell are they It's either they have a very unique sense of attractiveness for men, or the brainwashing has been thoroughly done. Like, there is nothing you can tell them that if to them he's God. Okay, he's the epitome of what a man should be. He's the peak of men. Attractive? I mean, I'm not one to judge people on their physical appearance, to be honest. Like, if anything, I think I'm quite nice, but I don't think he's attractive like that. You know, like, the way they're saying it's creepy. And to say he's even more attractive now, what? You're lying. Nah. You're lying.
Chair in 3, 2, 1.
Sorry. Mike, and the floor are yours.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about Trump barging into the dressing rooms of the beauty pageant contestants?
You know, you may not imagine this, but when I was your age, I was a model. And I can tell you for a fact, every fashion show, every modeling call, there are men in the dressing room. There are makeup artists, there are designers. It's not uncommon. And you're making it as if it's this big, huge deal. Donald Trump at the time was the head of the...
This lady looks like Trump so much. I feel like she should definitely be the president of MAGA. Like, she should be at the forefront, you know, wearing their banner, president, because she looks like him, she speaks like him. I feel like she's the MAGA representative and ambassador of him. Anyways, let's get back to you. I just had to lay it out there. I just had to say that.
Miss Universe and Miss USA pageant, it wouldn't be surprising if I was in there changing for him to walk in. And you guys, because let's look at the camera. He's got a face for that one too. Let's go to E. Jean Carroll, since you already went over this for 20 minutes.
Can I respond to that?
Sure, but we're down to 1 minute. You've already talked about this.
Trump said that there were no men anywhere.
Well, I don't care what he said. I'm saying, as a woman that's been backstage at many fashion shows.
Well, he was the owner.
They're men.
How dare you not care what he says? I mean, like, how dare you not care? You guys are defending him and you don't care what he says. You have to care.
One backstage,
Everywhere.
he said that he was the only man back there.
Well, and I'm sure that there were other men. Forever, or just that instance?
He said
I'm not buying it. Okay, we got 50 seconds. I'm going E. Jean Carroll.
Fuck.
E. Jean Carroll, number one, the statute of limitations had run out. Until Reid Hoffman paid her to freaking go after this lawsuit. Why she is now being charged with perjury. Not only that, as a celebrity walking into Bergdorf Goldman's, you don't think that anybody would have a picture of him? And no offense, I don't trust a woman that named her cat vagina and freaking was sexy and charged 21 other men with that crime.
Lori, you're
on
going to get
Larry
another
King.
fact check.
No, well, you go ahead and fact check. Larry King,
Yeah,
she
I will.
said rape
Check.
was
Oh,
sexy.
you're wrong about Larry King too.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Your mind's a mess. Okay.
Your mind's a mess.
You know, Lori, there's something quite barbaric about MAGA, about this alt-right movement that's hinged on this paraxis of propaganda and useless and futile lies. And then when anybody tries to check these lies, well, then all of a sudden, the provocateurs of this movement get mad, start screaming, start yelling, start saying that they kicked our asses, and then they don't let us speak. Listen. You made a couple false claims. You claimed that E. Jean Carroll had said that rape is sexy on an Anderson Cooper interview. That's not what she said. If you watch the interview with Anderson Cooper, you will hear her say verbatim that what happened to her was not sexual, was not sexy, quote unquote, it just hurt. And then Anderson Cooper responded to E. Jean Carroll by saying, well, I think that most people think of rape as like this hurtful, violent thing. And then she responded by saying, well, actually, I think most people think of rape as sexy. And the reason why she said that is because we form our own versions of reality predicated on our own experiences.
This
so
is where I
when
think
you
we're
have
wrong.
the experience of sexual violence, when you have the experience of sexual violence, when you go through the experience of sexual violence,
I've been through sexual violence. Have you?
Yes. When you go through the
that,
experience
Dean.
of sexual violence, you're more likely to be more hypercritical and aware of crazy people in the world around us that downplay it, legitimize it, or fantasize about it. So maybe it was descriptively incorrect. It wasn't true when she said most people think of as sexy, but regardless of that, that's not her saying that she thinks of as sexy. So stop misinterpreting the genuine claims made by a victim of predicated off of the trauma that they went through. Quite frankly, Lori, I think that is disgusting.
Well, I think it's disgusting because I was a victim of actual and abuse. And if you want to compare what happened in the Epstein files, let me just tell you, I was one of those little girls.
First of all, that's crazy and sick. First of all, saying that you are a victim of something like that happening to you and still defending this man, are you sure you're okay? That's my question. Are you sure you're okay? Because are you trying to bring up the point of, okay, I experienced something similar to that for relativity, and then using that to back up your point of he is not a sexual predator? I'm genuinely confused. Like, what direction are you facing?
I'm sorry to hear that, Lori.
I was one of those little girls, but the guy was Hugh Hefner. So for you to sit there and say it's disgusting, I'm sorry, I don't agree with the woman as a woman who was abused. I don't agree with the attacks falsely on Donald Trump because of the crap that your side always has to push because you got such bad TDS, it's insane. That woman is a nut job. I knew somebody that worked with her at Simon Schuster said that she was so inappropriate. She also accused 21 other men of the same freaking crime.
Name 5 of them.
I don't know their names.
Because they don't exist.
We're out of time. We have to pause there. Great job, everyone.
Welcome back. Mike's yours. I'll let you take it away.
Okay, well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you believe in equality?
Well, I mean, I think that's a very vague question, but generally, of course.
Okay, so if you do, then all humans are equal, correct?
No, I don't think that all humans are equal, and I don't think you do either.
Oh, I absolutely think that all humans have a right to life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness.
Really?
It's part of our Bill of Rights.
Okay.
And if you actually love our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, then you would believe what I believe.
Well, I mean, it says people, but small distinction there. I want to ask you a question. Is it murder for a doctor to pull the plug on a brain dead patient in the hospital?
Some people actually write what they want done. You know, they say, hey, if I become brain dead, then pull the plug.
Yeah, but for instance, if they don't do that, okay, like, for instance, I haven't done that. If when I leave the set today, I get into a nasty car accident, I get T-boned by a drunk driver, I go brain dead. Okay, would it be murder for, like, my family to tell the doctor at the hospital, well, because he's brain dead, let's just go ahead and pull the plug? Would that be murder?
I honestly, you're talking to someone that is very skeptical of doctors, okay? And even they talk about brain dead people that weren't actually brain dead.
True.
So that's why I always leave up to everything to God. So when I die is when I die.
I want to clarify
So
that.
I actually don't want to be killed. But now, if you're on all these machines to keep you alive, if it's months and months and you're not getting better,
Yeah.
then you're using machines to keep you alive.
But they're still alive, and you still
Yeah.
don't think it's murder to kill them. So you actually don't think that all humans have this intrinsic right to life. And by the way,
I never said no. You don't speak for me. Again, I
Well, then-
just told you I don't believe in doctors.
Okay.
So I don't go to the hospital.
I have a very
That's
insane.
What do you mean you don't believe in doctors? I don't understand. What do you mean you don't believe in doctors? I don't think you need to believe in them to be able to help yourself. And you said you don't go to the hospital. So how do you get treated? They don't need you to believe. This is science-based. This is science-based. This is not come out and say you don't believe you're an anti-vaxxer, because then I'm just going to shoot you for real. I'm going to shoot you. What do you mean you don't believe in doctors? They don't need you to believe in them. They are telling you things that are factual. It's factual. They are not trying to immerse some sort of belief in your brain. They're like, this is the blood test we have done on you, or these are the checks we have done on you, and these are the results. And these results, based on experience, based on science, based on years of experimentation, we see that this means this and that means that. We don't need you to believe anything. It's just facts. I just had to say it out there, because what is she saying?
I have not gone to the hospital in a long time.
Okay, well, I hope that you know.
Because
I want to add on a
believe
point of
when it's
clarification
my
here.
time, it's my time.
Do-
Now, question
okay.
for you.
All right.
So, when do you think life begins?
I think that life begins at the moment of conception.
Good. I'm glad you believe that.
You're Christian, and you base your morality
And that's
off
called
of
science.
Christianity.
And see, it seems like
Can
the
I ask
people
you a
that say
question?
we're anti-science, they're anti-science because they don't believe man and woman. They believe genders.
I want to ask you a question about abortion.
Okay.
You made the claim that all humans are equal. Every single human has the identical right to life. That is a claim that fundamentally everybody
it depends.
rejects
Actually,
in one way or another.
I didn't say that. So, see, you're putting more into the sentence that I did not add.
Your opener
okay, I
was
said
about equality
for, life,
for everyone.
Liberty and a pursuit of happiness.
Which
now,
would be
if you're a
the right to
murderer,
life.
I do believe in capital punishment, but because of your actions.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
fine.
where I don't believe in equality. Is like,
Can we
is a
push
baby
the
and a
abortion debate
murderer
along?
the same? No, because a baby's innocent. A
Okay.
civil society protects the most innocent and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go and murder them. That is a satanic society, and I
Yeah.
reject a satanic
listen,
society.
I
Okay, we
reject-
got to stop there. You've been voted out.
Okay.
That was intense.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2.
Since when has abortion become a satanic activity? I am confused. People do abortion for different reasons. Some do it because of health reasons. Like, you can literally log out from this life because of the baby. And in this case, we have to choose the mother. Some don't. I mean, personal choice. But in more cases than none, if it's a survival instinct. You're like, okay, I need to stay alive, and somebody has to go. Second of all, in cases of genetical issues, some people don't have the mental capacity, physical, spiritual, everything capacity to handle children with special needs. And I feel like that's relative to from person to person. Like, if you feel you can handle the pressure that will come with this, I mean, there are ways you can test this. If you get pregnant, you test, and then your child has some genetical issues, then abortion, unfortunately, is one of the solutions. So as not to start something you can't finish. And thirdly, some people are just not ready to bring a child into this world. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because there are too many people that were born that were not supposed to be born. Like, they are parading this world. They were not supposed to exist. So, respectfully, if you feel like you can't handle this, I mean, no judgment. You do what you have to do and just keep it pushing. Because too many people are incapable of being good parents, and then they bring forth children into this world and they can't handle them, and then just those children grow up to be abusers, predators to other people, problems to other people. Like, please, I'm not advocating for everybody should just go and do it for vanity's sake, or yes, it is them is that's the right way to go. But I mean, there are cases by cases about this, and sometimes that's just the best solution. It has nothing to do with I'm a Christian and this child. Yes, you two things can exist in one sentence. Like, two things can actually exist in one space, but it doesn't make you a horrible person. It just makes you someone that knows what you can handle. If you feel like you can handle it, I mean, good and fine, but whatever consequences that come with it, be ready to take it on.
Hi, Tish.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Why should abortion be illegal?
Well, let me ask you something. Abortion is legal here. What procedure do you prefer? The suction, the dye, and the
Yeah.
what is it?
I don't know. The most brutalistic, gross one where we chop up all their limbs and throw them in the trash. Listen.
Really, that's gross.
Okay.
That is so gross.
I know, I'm rage baiting you. Listen.
I have 4 children, a set of twins. I would never, ever do that to my children. And would you have your girlfriend do that to your child?
Well, ultimately, I think it's a choice.
Or do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Oh, you
ultimately,
do?
I think that it's a choice of the woman. So if you want to tell me that you never get an abortion,
no,
all the power to you. I love that for you because that's your choice, and I think that's great. But listen, I don't think that abortion is murder because I don't think that there's any trait that we could identify to be true of a fetus in which we fundamentally would value enough to grant the right to life. The last person on the mic said, well, fundamentally, all humans have the same right to life, and that's something that we hear from a lot of pro-lifers. As I was attempting to communicate to her, everybody rejects that view in one way or another. So I want to hear your argument insofar as why it's morally wrong for a woman to get an abortion outside of its gross. Because grotesqueness doesn't arbitrate morality. Like, taking a shit's pretty gross. Shit smells like shit, right? Okay. But we're not going to say it's morally wrong to take a shit, even though it's gross. So what's the argument that abortion is wrong?
Let me just ask you this. Everyone's really, really focused on, it should be the right for every woman. Why don't you think about it the other way and think about why don't you prevent all these women who don't want to have babies? Why aren't you guys helping them prevent pregnancies?
We do. I agree we should.
Yes, we
100%.
should.
We need access to comprehensive sex ed in schools. We need free and fair access to
in schools?
Yeah, of course.
At what age?
Is at an age-appropriate level. I would say starting in late middle school, because I was in middle school. You were in middle school. We were all in middle school. The second thing that I think is also important here would be free and fair access to contraceptives, and we should also try to find ways to limit financial instability in young women and young men, because the leading cause of women accessing abortion is financial instability. But you still haven't answered the question, and you've been up here for a while.
Okay.
I want to hear why you think that abortion is wrong. I think that you're struggling to come up with an argument.
Because it is murder.
And the definition of murder would be the unjust termination of a human life. Explain why you think it's unjust.
First of all, a woman who has a pregnancy, a baby in there, they have the right to life too.
What grants the fetus the right to life?
What grants it just that it's been conceived.
Or the fact that it's a human?
It is a human.
Okay, so brain dead patients have the right to life too?
So what, brain dead?
Yeah, they're human.
You know what? I've heard of brain dead humans coming out of comas.
Then they're not brain dead. The definition of brain death is irreversible cessation of all cognitive function. Do humans who are biologically alive because of machines with irreversible cessation of all cognitive function have the right to life?
I haven't really researched that, so if there was no hope, possibly.
Okay.
They should. I mean, that's not my decision to make. That's a family member's.
Okay. So you think it should be up to the choice of the family to kill a human?
You know what?
Who doesn't have the right to life.
So
you don't think that all humans have the right to life? So what is a fetus?
But if they're brain dead, are they really alive?
Yes, biologically they are.
You know what? That's a determination that I would have to take with a medical doctor.
Let's say the same thing about women for abortion. Then.
No, I don't believe that a woman has that even right. That a woman should be able to get an abortion here in California.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
I don't.
We have to pause there. You've been voted out.
Guys, I think this is a good place to end, because these people are driving me nuts. Anyways, I just want to point out that women can do the same things as men do as well, maybe even better. And these women coming out and saying all of these things really triggers me, because women for so long have fought to be in this position right now where we can vote, we can talk, we can make choices, we can own properties without needing to have a spouse or a man's permission, or like we can stand on our own. The freedom to be able to go to school, to attend universities, to be able to work in some certain fields, like all of that has we have fought to get to this point. And for these women to come out here and just make it sound like women have we are very emotional beings, and as such we are not allowed to have some certain level of responsibilities because we are women, is very insulting. So yeah, I the topic was very entertaining, but these women are actually absolutely crazy. Anyways, that's where I can go for now. If you want me to cover more of this video, let me know, but I can't proceed beyond this. I mean, these women, they're like, I believe everybody has brain cells and can be logical in their thinking, and mine are exhausted at this moment, so I think I've tried. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, if you have gotten to this point, because I think this will be a long video. If you have gotten here, thank you so much, and yeah, see you in the next one. Goodbye.